So when it comes to leaving a legacy, man, it's all about being an example. I don't have to do too much woofing because I'm living it. I'm really doing it. Even when.
What's happening, y'all? This is Mike D with Black Fathers Now, where we're bringing the village to the brothers. Every couple of weeks, you can look forward to a quick inspirational message or a thought-provoking guest with knowledge and wisdom, all geared towards helping you be the best father that you can be. We're bringing the village to you. Now it's your turn to do something with what you learned. All right, y'all. Let's go. What's going on, fellas? This is Mike D, Mr. Double Down on You with another episode of Black Fathers Now. And what you're going to see if you're watching the video, but definitely what you're going to hear if you're listening to the audio of this bad boy is it's a familiar voice back on Black Fathers Now. And this familiar voice was in episode 43. He was also in episode 134. So if you really want some more of his backstory and how this brother has evolved, go back and listen to episode 43 and episode 134 of Black Fathers Now. And the brother that I am talking about is none other than my frat brother, homeboy from Augusta, Georgia, my man, Chris Cole. And now Chris is the chairman and president of the BWO. And again, as we talk about his story and how things have evolved to a collaborative approach with other really powerful brothers who are doing amazing things, you're going to hear the power of that BWO thing that I just mentioned. But ladies listening, because y'all like to tune in, and fellas, let's welcome again my man, Chris Cole. What's up, Doc?
Man, what's going on, man? I appreciate you for having me on, man. Third time's a charm, and it's been an amazing journey, not only for me, but just to see your consistency and how your podcast has grown over the years and your ability to just stick to the script, man. So, anytime I can hop on and add value to your podcast, man, I just appreciate you for having me on.
Man, I appreciate that, dog. I appreciate it. And again, fellas, we're not going to do a humongous intro because y'all can go back to episode 43 and episode 134 to get his backstory and kind of how he evolved and really came, to who he is today. But before we jump into what's going on now and how that's evolved, let's give some shout outs, man. Because again, I interviewed a brother who is a stunt rider in movies and all of that stuff. And he always mentioned to me, he said, in the movies, all the important people get their credits up front. And so With Black Fathers Now, I like to have the brothers give the shout outs to, or give credit to the important folks, to the people who allow you to do what you do. Put that up front before we jump into your story.
Yeah, man. So for me, it's definitely my family, my children. As of recently, like I just retired my pops from his job in March. So it's becoming a habit for, just me and finding my place of peace to just bring my whole family with me everywhere I go. So, we done been all over the world, then scratched some things off of their bucket list, been able to, travel with the family, kids. Of course, my brothers and my business partners are BWO and their contribution to what it is that we do and how we pour into the people on a daily basis, man. And of course, most importantly, just God for just choosing me and putting me in position, man, just being thankful. And I'm humbled every day that I wake up and, realize I got breath in my lungs and get the opportunity to do it all over again, man. So just living a life of purpose and walking in his purpose and doing the things that he would have me to do, man. That's what I'm most thankful and appreciative for.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I'm gonna throw something out there, man. It's interesting as I coach brothers, because I'm a personal development coach. As I coach brothers, one of the things that we talk about is don't stay in your place, but find your lane and stay in your lane. See, when you stay in your place, you're static. That means you're in one spot, you ain't going nowhere. When you're in your lane, you're moving, but you're moving in a particular direction. But when you find your lane, right? And I think in one of the episodes we had previously, you talked about currency as a current, that, you got to get into the current and let that thing flow. That's to me, very similar to staying in your lane. And when we look at how you've evolved, grown, and developed over the years, you have been the epitome of staying in your lane. You understand that God has put this thing around wealth and how to build wealth, but also how to teach others how to build wealth and develop freedom to the point where, like I said, you were able to retire your pops. You're teaching others these same principles. but you've identified your lane, and that lane has grown and evolved to now being the chairman and president of the BWO. Talk to us a little bit about how, you have come to this notion of understanding the power of collaboration with others and how that has created this synergy for you to now have a bigger platform and a more robust impact with what you do.
Yeah. So, let's go back to the staying in your lane. When people talk about staying in your lane, to me, is really about staying in your purpose.
Yes.
And understanding what your purpose is. And also understanding that you are your most valuable asset, right? And you have an individual purpose that God purposed you and destined you for. And your purpose always involves the impact and the empowerment of other people, right? So being able to tap into your gift, value the opinion about you more than you value the opinion that others have of you. That's the most important aspect, because nobody is going to, believe it or buy into it until they see the fruits. You know what I'm saying? But are you going to be steadfast enough to stay the course and be rooted in your purpose during the rooting process? I always talk about, get an analogy of a tree. You know what I'm saying? A tree is underground, establishing its foundation, its roots before it even sprouts above ground for the first time. And even the moment it sprout above ground, it's still in a very fragile state. It's still often overlooked. And then before you know it, it grows into a tree with branches and leaves. But what I tell people all the time, the last thing that takes place about the development of the tree is the production of the fruit, right? And the tree can't produce the fruit if it's not rooted properly. The rooting phase is ugly, it's dark. You know what I'm saying? It's unattractive. It's often overlooked. People still don't believe in the tree. You understand what I'm saying? So being able to embrace the process, stay in the lane, and staying in your purpose, because the tree don't stop growing because it don't look like the next one, right? Or what's going on. You know what I'm saying? That tree stays rooted in its purpose because it know that eventually it was born and it was destined and it was purposed to bear fruit at every stage of the process, even when other people don't even recognize what kind of tree it is. You understand what I'm saying?
That's it. Dude, I'm gonna tell you, you said something there. You said that nobody's gonna buy in until they see your fruit, right?
Right.
And it was interesting, I was
nobody's gonna buy in until they see the fruit, except the man that planted it in the ground. Right. So the importance of being grounded in God's promises and his word to you, and you understanding his purpose, understanding why he put you in the ground in the first place. Right. It ain't about the man cutting the yard or curating the lawn, that's moving and maneuvering all around a tree and ignoring it and just calling it a shrub or a weed. God, it's between you and God. The person who planted you there is the only person that's going to believe into you until the fruit is seen on the other side.
But that also indicates that patience is needed and necessary, because that's one of the things that's so interesting, because when it comes to everything prior to the fruit being present, it's about you and God. It's like the concept of vision. Like when you're given, I equated to something downloading in your spirit, right? When you got something downloaded in your spirit and that's your vision, can't nobody else see through your eyes. So we can't get mad when somebody doesn't see our vision, but it's more so about how do we take that vision and create something tangible for them to see. So again, it's between you and God until the fruit comes. And once the fruit comes in, other people can come along, but you got to be patient enough to get to the fruit process.
Yeah, exactly. And how we do it is by submitting to the will of God for our lives.
Yes.
Right. Not because Joe and Susie and mama and daddy and my old lady or my husband, my boyfriend, my children want me to do this, so they think that. Like, no, the only way that you're gonna max out and be able to bear your fruit that God has purposed and destined you for is submitting to his will, because he the one who planted the seed in you. You know what I'm saying? And all he asking you to do is to believe in him more than you believe in everything else that's going around you in the moment. Right. Locking in and paying attention to the things that is constantly in your heart. They talk about eyesight as a function of seeing, as a function of the eyes, but vision is a function of the heart. You understand? So being able to have the vision, the fortitude, being able to be 10 toes down regardless of what's going on, because you know what's inside of you, and you know what God put in you is for you, no matter what the circumstances may be looking like in the present moment.
Dude, and it's so powerful for you to talk about that. And fellas, I hope you're paying attention to the whole concept of being rooted, being grounded into what God's calling you to do, but then also being patient, because the fruit doesn't happen overnight, right?
The fruit, the last thing to take place.
That's it. It's the last thing that takes place. So basically, what Chris is saying is what you're seeing now. So if you follow Chris Cole, I am on Instagram and all, and you see the brother flying in private jets and doing this and doing that and speaking all over the world. And like he said, he just retired his pops. These are some of the fruits, but realize this is after this rooting process has taken place, after the trunk, after this thing has been grounded. So you're seeing this kind of it ain't ended yet. Like, this is actually just starting. This is the beginning to the next phase of what you got going on. But this is just a small piece to the puzzle. And we have to be mindful of that as we see the imagery of how people are living their life and how they're moving. We don't understand the backstory.
Right.
That's
Exactly. Because the process is unattractive for those who ready to eat, you know, and who just want to come by the tree to pick off the fruit and taste, you know, how sweet it is. You know, the process is, you know, it is lonely, but it's very necessary, you know.
Yes. It's necessary, it's lonely, but then it's interesting. So you mentioned the concept of fruit, and I was watching something and it was talking about how there are certain fruit trees that can't grow alone, meaning they're there, but they have to be around other fruit trees so they can like pollinate back and forth and all of that stuff. And to me, that is an interesting metaphor for your story now with the BWO, because when I look at BWO and you have this collective group of brothers who individually, y'all were these rooted, grounded trees who were producing fruit and doing your own thing. Like, each one of you all can individually continue doing it, but all of a sudden there was this collaboration that came together. And now each one of you is kind of like synergy. Y'all are now growing bigger than the sum of the parts. Talk to us a little bit about coming together, collaboration, and growing collectively to do something bigger.
What a collaboration is absolutely necessary, you know, for all of us to take our vision and our purpose to the next level, our impact for the people to the next level, right? You know, I can be a fruit tree in my yard. You understand what I'm saying? And I can feed the people who stay at the house where the fruit tree reside. You understand what I'm saying? But I also need, if I want to be an orchard and feed the masses, then I need a multitude of trees, and I need to put myself in a situation where there's thousands of fruit trees in the fruit field. You understand? And right now, as the leaders of the organization, yes, we're at the helm of the ship, guiding the members of the BWO, but ultimately the BWO is about building a $1 billion company, right? All of us was millionaires when we decided to join forces, and that's cool, right? But how can we create a $1 billion company? We had to create an orchard, right? In order to create a $1 billion company. What does an orchard consist of? Yes, it consists of the leaders or the founders of the orchards or the first few trees, you understand me? But in order for us to be a $1 billion company, in order for us to set the foundation to have an orchard, we must nurture 1,000 other families, 1,000 other individuals. We must help build up at least 1,000 millionaires, right? And when we look out at the orchard, even though we the founders or the originators, you can't tell for the most part, you know, which trees were there first. So it's not, the collaboration isn't about even separation from us and the people as much as it is about us laying the groundwork for them to become rooted and for them to sprout up and embrace their process and bear fruit on their own. You understand what I'm saying?
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, that's such a powerful thing. I think it's the African proverb that states, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, you know, go together, right? And absolutely, that is in essence what you're talking about, and the whole concept of helping others get rooted. So what
Right.
you're helping others through that particular process is not about helping you have fruit. It's about you helping to create the roots so that the trunk and then everything else is there. And then you're sustainable. See, the thing that a lot of people think about is like, we want to be given something or we want something to be there, but we don't think about the sustainability. Right. And what you all are creating through creating this orchard, and I love that analogy, is that you're creating sustainability, but then it's also the generational impact, because as this thing continues, it's not just you, it's kids, grandkids.
Hey, and as we say, lifting as we climb.
Yes,
right?
come on.
Because and again, the organization isn't about separation or hierarchy or dictatorship as much as it is about showing you the path, the way, being a living example of the process and what it looks like, right? Because if I'm here and you there, right? And my organization is founded on hate, jealous, envy, where I need to be better than you, or I need to keep you down, right? In order for me to keep you down, guess what? That prevent me from growing to the next level. Because I got to have my foot on, I got to continue to have my foot on your neck at this level. You understand what I'm saying? So if I'm jealous, envy, and insecure about the people that I'm quote unquote supposed to be leading, then guess what? I can't transition to the next level. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to lift as we climb. I have to continue to grow. And as I'm growing, pull up the people that's willing to embrace the process and come along with me. You understand?
Dude, and I'm gonna ask you, so, and this is, I guess, an interesting perspective, because as brothers and sisters elevate to different levels, obviously it's a more money, more problems, more challenges, more things to deal with. How do you then keep yourself grounded as you elevate? And maybe this is from a personal perspective, like what are some of the things that you're doing to keep yourself grounded as you elevate? And
listen, this how I look at money. Money don't change who you are as a person. Money only magnifies who you are as a person. So when you root it, when you don't, before you even have it manifested, right? When it begins to manifest, or when you begin to bear fruit, then it's just going to magnify your roots, your principles, your foundations, the things that you stand on. You understand, the things that you believe in. Now, and they say a fool and his money soon part ways. So you give a fool some money overnight, or he or she experience success too quick. Then when they get money, all you're gonna see is a bigger fool. Right. So again, it's all about being rooted in the principles and the things that you believe in order to bear fruit. Shit, I want to be a big tree that bear a lot of fruit. I want to be able to feed everything that's around me, everything that's a part of my community, inside of my organization, inside of my circle. So again, going back, to being rooted, those principles, they don't change if I got $1 in my pocket or if I got $10 million in my pocket. You know what I mean? So, just staying true to the course, understanding, your purpose, and not losing sight of that in the midst of money, because like I teach all the time, money ain't nothing but the evidence of the transfer of energy. Right. So I don't have to be pressed about money when I understand how it works in the first place. The last episode we talk about currency, in the current, and it has to flow. Money ain't nothing but a tool in order for me to do whatever it is that I set out to do. To give me access to whatever I need to have access to in order to achieve the things that I want to achieve, in order to pursue the things that I want to pursue. Money is not the end result. You understand? Money is not the outcome that I'm looking for. I don't work for money. I'm working to pursue my purpose. I'm working to pursue my goals. I'm working to take control over my mind, my time, and the things that I put into my body, the things that God birthed me here with. It's not about chasing money, or even me measuring my success based on the number of dollars that I got in my bank account, because I understand the structure and the dynamics of money. I can go call on money anytime I need it to execute whatever task it is that I want to execute.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, it's interesting. It's like, you don't want to be a slave to money, but you want to make money your slave. In a sense of
that's the whole trading aspect, right? A lot of people, they get into trading because they see the amount of money you can make. They see the freedom that I have, right? But more importantly, they go back to seeing the amount of money you can make, or the amount of money that I made. And then they learn how to trade, and they like, man, well, why don't you just sit at the computer and trade all day and make money? I trade 3 days out of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, hour and a half a day, because I want to spend the rest of my time doing what it is that I want to do. Even with me having a skill set that I can call and consistently pull money all the time, I don't want to be a slave to just chasing money. I want to spend my time doing the things that I really value, right? The only reason that I value money is because it's a tool that allows me to take control over my time, the things that I put into my body, and the things that I choose to put into my mind. I don't need to spend all of my time gathering a tool, right? And when you understand the structure of it, I could take that tool and I can go put it to work, and I don't even have to be present.
Dude, that's such a powerful perspective, and I'm glad that you're saying that, because people, again, they see an image, and if they don't do the background work to understand the story behind that image, they don't think that that's the case.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you for sharing that and understanding the proper place. It's not about money. Money's not the destination. It's just a tool. So think about basically having a Home Depot in your garage that you can build what you need. You can do what you got to do. That's all money is.
Listen, and the fact of the matter is, you are the money. Money is the evidence of the transfer of energy. In order for the energy to be transferred, somebody got to possess it already. So guess who possesses it? You and I. So when we start talking about money and manifesting money, it's more so about taking control and harnessing our own energy and being able to put it out in a way that's more efficient and more effective, right? And it benefits me more than it benefits the next man, i.e. having a job and different things of that nature. So having money is more so about, first of all, taking control of you and your energy that God has blessed you with, and he continues to bless you with on a daily basis. All of us have, when I hear the thing, all of us got 24 hours in a day. Yes, this is true, right? But more importantly, all of us have a certain amount of energy every 24 hours out of the day, right? And are we expending our own individual energy in a way that is more beneficial to ourselves, or is it more beneficial to somebody else, right? And when we can harness that and we can start regaining, or what Maxine Waters say, reclaiming my time, right, in a way that is more beneficial to me than it is the white man or the next man, a boss man, or whatever the case might be. Now we put ourselves in a position where we can start manifesting any and everything that we want.
And I always think about this is rooted in belief. Right. Like, you have to believe that it's possible, because the thing is, it's kind of like when you're in a competition or you're playing sports or whatever. If you don't believe that you can win, in real talk, you're not going to win. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
If you don't believe that you're capable of creating freedom, if you're capable of owning your time, if you're capable of retiring your parents, if you're capable of impacting your community, if you don't start with that belief, then it ain't going to happen. I got a question for you before we jump into the BWO and what y'all got going on. What literally gave you that level of confidence to understand that you can manifest, that you have the belief that you're capable of all that you're doing now and more? What was that thing that helped you to get to that point?
Man, I think it was honestly, man, I think it really boiled down to just my early experiences in the street, and being able to climb the ranks in the street. You understand? Starting off with shit, $20 worth of dope, and then before before it was all said and done, shit, I was, moving keys at a time, right? So again, that progressiveness of embracing the process. And then it clicked in me one day. It was like, shit, if I took the same energy and mindset that I had in the streets and put it into anything else, shit, I could sell toilet tissue and make $1 million. And here we go. We got the pandemic popped off last year.
You go. Come on.
Selling toilet tissue, making $1 million. You know what I'm saying? But I always believed in me. I always betted on me every single time. I walked away from several opportunities in the midst of us making money, having different opportunities to make money because I always believe what was inside of me more than my circumstance. You know what I'm saying? I didn't let my circumstance, my situation, my trial, and my tribulation dictate whether or not I was going to continue to move forward, whether or not I was going to continue to put in the work. My slogan for the longest was love the work. I loved waking up in the morning and embracing the process. My experience, my upbringing. I mean, shit, you've been knowing me ever since I was a kid. Them trials and tribulations, are what made me the man that I am today. So every time I wake up and I realize God and gave me another opportunity to do it all over again, shit, I'm gonna max out these 24 hours.
Whew.
But shit, I don't know if this is gonna be my last 24 hours. As much death experience, that I've experienced and witnessed and seen firsthand, shit, I didn't know if I was gonna live another 24. So guess what? I realized that God has waken me up this morning, put breath in my lungs and movement in my limbs. I'm gonna max this bitch out every day.
Max this bitch out every day. I dig it, man. That's what this thing is all about. And speaking of maxing it out, that's what y'all are doing with the BWO. For those that are unfamiliar, tell everybody, what's the BWO? What's some of the stuff y'all got going on? How can folks check y'all out? Just run the gamut, brother.
Yeah, so it's a alarming statistic that doesn't seem to be alarming to too many of us that by the year 2053, African Americans will have a $0 net worth, right?
Wow. So
we got on this Zoom call late November, and we discussed it, and it was like, man, I mean, that's wild. Mm-hmm. That they even bold enough or brave enough to say we're going to have a $0 net worth by year 2053. You understand what I'm saying? So we said, how can we put together an educational program or educational platform to bridge the gap? Primarily through capital markets, i.e. trading, life insurance, and digital and physical real estate. Mm-hmm. So we collaborated, put BWO together. We got over 5,000 members now. It's been growing like wildfire. And really, man, we just committed to serving the people. You understand? It wasn't, of course, we knew that we was going to make money in the process. But again, us making money was the evidence of the transfer of energy that we was able to take our knowledge, our information, our blood, sweat, and tears, our expertise, and transfer it in a way that it was going to be beneficial to the people. And now we put them in a position where they taking control of their energy and being able to transfer it, right? And again, it's not just about making money as much as it is about serving the people and waking up the giants in the midst of everybody that's in the program. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we own. So now we at a place now where, we are creating the platforms for our people to execute the things that we trade. That we're educating and teaching them on.
Creating the platforms. And so again, what are some of those platforms, or what are some of the things that you all kind of have going, or that you all are creating for those to grow and build with?
So for one, we're going to launch our own exchange. So instead of you trading on TD Ameritrade or Nadex and Robinhood and different things of that nature, we're going to launch our very own exchange that our folks and our team can execute on.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. And the thing that's so powerful about it, man, again, you all are a collective of brothers who are individually doing your thing. You basically realize that from a community perspective, the trajectory is not looking good. Individually, you all could have executed and made something happen, but you decided to, collectively, we're going to come together, figure this thing out, and we're stronger together. And you all have done just that with the BWO. How can folks learn more about BWO? Where can they access information? How can they become a part of it? Kind of lay out all that information.
BWOacademy.com.
Okay.
BWOacademy.com. And another great feature that we added that I just rolled out a beta group of automated trading. So the things that I'm teaching, I've been able to program some of my best trading strategies into the platforms where they execute automatically for the students. So now the students get the opportunity to create passive income, right? So they're not so focused on making money. We got a tool that's going to create passive income for you. So now I can really focus on learning the skill set, in a real stress-free environment. You know what I'm saying? I got my second launch to the public coming out July 1st. Obviously, that'll be passed by the time this get published, but that'll be on the website a la carte as well. And it's really just a situation to and I don't want to say just, it's a very powerful situation to create passive income. Again, our goal is to build 1,000 millionaires, right? So this is just a stepping stone to put at least 1,000 people in position that themselves and their family is going to be worth 7 figures. So now, I got passive income coming in. Now I can really focus and buckle down on learning a skill set that I can't unlearn that's going to pay me for the rest of my life, right? And now I take control over my time, right? Now I take control over my mind. Now I take control over the things that I put in my body. And now I can really start addressing the things that we really need to be addressing as Black and colored folks, right? The trauma, the pain, the disappointment, the things that often go overlooked and unattended to because we spending so much of our time chasing money, right? That seems to be so elusive to the masses. You understand what I'm saying? So again, I'm a very strategic person. I have a huge vision and a huge outlook. So I know our people are initially attracted by materialistic things and monetary things, but the picture in the vision is much bigger than that. So it's like, okay, well, how can we bridge the gap? Well, we can't bridge no gap without first teaching our people how to put some money in their hands, right? Because most of us live in check to check. Right. Most of us, we behind a week or two. Most of us have poor money management skills. Right. And it's not our fault, because the fact of the matter is we weren't taught it. They didn't give us that information. Right. And a lot of us like to put on and flex like we got it all figured out, and we don't know shit. And I know we don't know shit because we ain't been taught shit. You understand what I'm saying? So when it came to the vision of BWO is say, okay, well, how can we put something together to meet our people where they at in this moment in time? Not to build something that was so far-fetched that it seemed unattainable. And that's part of the reason, like when I go from city to city, I'm going to meet the members. I'm going to, shake hands, kick shit with them, smoke a blunt, have a drink or whatever, because I'm just like you. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm really in position, and my goal and vision is really to lift and help the people that's willing to tap in and that's ready to tap into the information. So meeting them where they're at by giving them avenues and ways to create immediate income. So now they operating a little less stressful because they see the potential. They got a little money coming in. You understand? So now they can really spend the time focusing on the skill set because they see the power, they see the proof of it. Our people don't believe shit until they can see it. Until you see it. Yeah. Right. So the first part is letting them see it, right, and letting them taste it, so they can understand it. And now you start to see people begin to be more committed and understand what it means to be more disciplined. And they start to make those small sacrifices to learn the information that's being taught, and now the next level of that is continuing to elevate them and take them to the next level until we got 1,000 families, we got 1,000 individuals that we help spark the mindset, not responsible, because they're responsible for their success, right? And of course we get praise and accolades and different things of that nature. Oh, I thank you so much for changing my life. And I say, listen, I'm not responsible for changing your life. You're responsible for changing your life. I'm thankful that I was the spark for you to bring out what was already in you, right? Because you becoming a millionaire, these 1,000 millionaires, guess what? They already millionaires, Mike, before even though they ain't got $10 in their bank account. There it is. Right. I'm just thankful for being a spark to allow them to see what's already in them.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, it's interesting. When I think about what you're saying, I also think about fatherhood, right? And this is Black
Right.
Fathers Now. And, there's a 4-point, training that I'm putting together for parents. And basically it's a simple, simplistic parenting protocol. And it's expose, identify, nurture, accelerate. Expose, identify, nurture, and accelerate. And that's exactly what you're talking about. You're exposing people to what it is, this possibility. You identify where they have opportunities for growth. You nurture those opportunities, but then it's all about acceleration. And that's where you get them to the point, or help them to get to a point in which they have the freedom that you're talking about. And speaking about fatherhood, everything that you're doing is helping the world. It's, helping the community. But how has this come back in-house with you as a father, specifically a Black father, in regards to your kids?
Yeah, well, my babies, man, they my motivation. My baby's my everything. You know what I'm saying? And right now, the sacrifice for me is being in my work and being for the people, and still being for my kids and my family at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But for me, it's all about, the Bible say a good man leaves an inheritance for his children. Right. So I've done that. I've ensured that I've done that. Right. Because when your children have an inheritance, now they don't have to spend their energy figuring out how to control and harness it. So they can be productive. Right. So they don't continue to perpetuate this cycle, which is really a mentality of poverty. You understand? So for me as a father, it just motivates me to be the example to my children. Right, to expose them to the mentality, right? And I don't necessarily have to preach and teach to my kids all the time, because they live in it, right? I'm giving them the experience. I'm not gonna be the parent where, oh, here go daddy again with a speech or whatever. Yes, of course, when it's time, I'm going to be able, and I need to have a sit down about certain things, like I do that, or I am going to do that, as those times come about. But daddy is an example. We live in it. You understand what I'm saying? They just gave me my whole a day in Atlanta.
I was going to talk about that. The city was South Fulton, right?
Yeah. My children and my babies were there, right? So I don't have to. You know how our mama and daddy them used to tell us, talk about do as I say, not as I do, as you see me. You understand what I'm saying? Like daddy is an example. You've seen it, you lived it. This was your experience coming up. So for me, me being in my work, me being in my God-given work and living my purpose, it puts me in a position automatically to be the father that God destined me to be. Right, because I'm living it, and my children are living it and experiencing it at the same time.
Bruh, I'm gonna tell you, and you're familiar with this. Live Your Creed by Langston Hughes. The last stanza says, "For I may misunderstand you and the fine advice you give, but there's no misunderstanding how you act and how you live." So, bruh, it's making your words and your actions map,
align.
You can show them better than you can tell them. So bruh,
and that's what leaving a legacy it is about. And people talk about, I want to leave a legacy. When I think about leaving a legacy, people, the first thing come to mind is money and materialistic shit. And when you go back and look at history, all those folks have left some type of legacy, right? So I like to break things down to their smallest point. I said, well, how did these folks end up in the history book? How did these folks leave a legacy, right? And damn near everybody that is in history or has left a legacy, and that we know and we hear about today, has been an example in their time, right? So people saw fit to write it down. People saw fit to document it, right? People saw fit to spread the word and teach about the things that these folks have done, not just because of what they said, but because of the life they lived, the example. You understand? I put something out on Instagram the other day. I say, don't be fooled by the words of a man, because a man can spin the truth. Man can he tells tales with his words. But the truth is, you know, what a man is about and what he stands for is rooted in his actions. You can just sit back and see, you know. So when it comes to leaving a legacy, man, it's all about being an example. I don't have to do too much woofing because I'm living it. I'm really doing it. You know, even when it comes to how I'm teaching the students and what we doing in BWO, this ain't just about selling no courses. Like, you know, when I'm in the trade room Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, I'm in the trade room with my money in real time, in a real account, in real market conditions, buying, selling, making money, losing money from time to time, and coming out on top. You know, week after week, month after month. My thing is, you can't argue with the results. I'm not telling you no shit after it done happen, or, oh, I told you it was gonna happen. I'm showing it to you. I'm living it. You know, don't nobody else on the internet who doing this trading, education, ain't nobody trying to see me because they ain't real as me. You understand what I'm saying? They ain't doing what I'm doing. They ain't doing it how I'm doing it. You know, and I put that on everything. I stand on that. I live on that because I know what it is. I've been doing this shit 13 years. I know what it looked like. You know what I'm saying? More importantly, I know what it takes. So me teaching in BWO, yes, while I'm providing a level of transparency and clarity, I'm really subliminally teaching them the process and showing them that in order for you to do this, like, this what it looked like. This the process. Right. I'm starting another live class tonight, day one, right? And yesterday was supposed to be day one, but I had to do this interview before I kicked off day one. Okay. But you know, the fact of the matter is, you know, this class that I'm teaching and I'm starting tonight, bro, I think it's gonna be my most profound class because I'm going back, and what I did was really like break down the process. Like, what did my process look like? You know what I'm saying? Because I know they can get caught up in the results and in the money and the materialistic shit, but really the success is rooted in the process. You know what I'm saying? There is no success without the process. You know what I'm saying? You got to proceed to the success. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm, you know, and that starts with the mentality. That starts with the mindset. That starts with the routine. So, you know, what I'm doing for the BWO members, you know, these next 2 to 4 weeks is really breaking down my process, you know what I'm saying, in a real digestible way so they can take it and individualize it and make it their process. You understand?
Take it, make it your own process. And the thing is, you're meeting people where they are, and that's what this thing is all about. I got to meet you where you are for you to get it. And that's exactly what you're doing on a personal level. That's the example that you're setting with your family, but that's also collectively what y'all are doing with the BWO. And so, like you mentioned, the brothers brothers and sisters and everybody paying attention, BWOacademy.com. On Instagram, was it the BW? What's the Instagram handles for BWO?
The BWO is the Instagram handle for the company.
Okay, and then you're Chris Cole, I am, correct?
Yep, Chris Cole, I am.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple spoof accounts out there. So
yeah, you know, hopefully we'll be verified soon, man. But you know, imitation is the highest form of flattery. So, you know, it come with the territory. You know what I'm saying? But again, you know, all it takes is a closer look to see what's real and what's fake.
Oh, look, check this out. Ain't no better way to end that. All it takes is a little look to understand the difference between what's real and what's fake. Fellas and ladies, make sure to visit BWOacademy.com. Follow the BWO on Instagram. Also follow Chris Cole, I am, on Instagram. I have all of that in the show notes. And man, literally, brother, keep up the doggone good work, man. I'm proud of you, dude. I've been watching this thing evolve, and I'm proud of you, dog. You keep up the good work, man, because you're doing God's work and you walking in purpose. So keep it up.
Man, I appreciate you already.
No doubt, no doubt. Now, fellas, as always, make sure to follow Black Fathers Now on all social media outlets. Subscribe to this podcast if you've not already done so. Leave some ratings. Put this thing out there. We want this to be the top podcast for current and future Black fathers around the world, and we're going to make that doggone thing happen. So make sure you share this thing out, leave some ratings, and until next time, y'all be blessed, well, and wise, and I'll holler at you. Peace. Yo, fellas, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And always, always, always visit blackfathersnow.com as well as follow Black Fathers Now on virtually every social media platform you can think of. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. Just follow us and engage with us, man. Look forward to hearing from you. And I guess until next time, I'll holler at you. Peace.